Police are investigating a kidnapping, but it's not a person they're looking for. Instead, a 13-week-old puppy that would have helped raise money for sick children. Fox 6's Dave Hecht is live in the newsroom with the details. Dave?
Well, Maria, Gia is her name, and so far, life has not been good to this little dog. Abandoned by her owner and facing some serious health issues, things were just starting to turn around when she was rescued off the streets. That is, until last night. It happened Friday night at this 7-Eleven at 30th and Meade in North Park.
That's terrible.
Kaylee Mayer was only inside for less than 10 minutes.
I think it's disgusting.
But it only took seconds for someone to reach inside her car and steal the sick stray puppy she was nursing back to health.
Upset, mad, freaked out, worried about her. I mean, I lost it last night.
Her name is Gia, a purebred boxer pup that was abandoned and left for dead. And according to her foster mom,
she has Giardia, which is a parasite that makes her really sick. She needs medication to treat that.
Kaylee's car was never more than 15 feet away.
I got out of my car, locked my door. She was sitting in the back seat.
And a security camera caught it all on tape. The suspects, a woman and her 3 young sons. Now, 7-Eleven won't release the videotape of the dog napping, but here's what happened. An 8 to 10-year-old boy simply reached through a cracked window, opened up the door, grabbed the puppy, and then slipped away into his mom's car. But the thieves didn't just steal a dog. Kaylee planned to adopt out Gia through the Wags for Wishes program, a program that ultimately benefits children with terminal diseases.
There's some people in the world that make bad choices.
A sign of the times, say 7-Eleven customers, a crime that has this dog lover now no longer taking any chances.
I was going to leave my windows down, but I'm going to roll them up, because my dogs are everything to me.
Now, the suspects in this case aren't just wanted for stealing the dog. They also allegedly hustled the 7-Eleven clerk out of money. Now, the Wags for Wishes program that Gia's adoption would have benefited, that's going on this weekend. And coming up, I'll have details on that event and how you and your pet can lend a paw and help some needy kids. Live in the newsroom, Dave Hecht, Fox 6 News.
All right, thank you, Dave. Being caught on tape, a woman and 3 young kids break into a parked car outside of a 7-Eleven and take a 13-week-old puppy. Desiree Carvajal is live in North Park with all the details. Desiree.
Well, Artie, the dog napping happened at this 7-Eleven here on the corner of 30th and Meade. The dog is not in very good health, and as you can imagine, the family just wants to get her back.
I've only had her for a week, and she's already a part of my family.
Kylie Mayer is a dog lover. She has 2 dogs already and recently rescued 13-week-old Gia after someone left her at the vet's office where she works.
When I got her, she was just a bag of bones. She had vomiting and diarrhea, just looked sick. So I brought her home, and we already have 4 pounds on her, and she's playing like a normal puppy. So she's adorable.
So adorable, in fact, that Kylie says a mother and her 3 sons dog-napped Gia while she was inside this 7-Eleven on Friday night.
I left her in my car, and I remembered to lock the doors, but I left the windows down a crack. Went inside. There's a family in there taking their time, and they left. I went to purchase what I was buying. As I walked out, I saw them driving away, and the dog wasn't in my car anymore.
The whole thing was caught on 7-Eleven surveillance camera. Police say one of the younger children simply put his arm through the window, unlocked the door, and took the dog.
So then I hopped in my car and I tried to chase them, but I couldn't find them. They had already disappeared.
Kylie is hoping for the best, but fears that Gia isn't getting the medical attention she needs.
My biggest fear is just not getting her back. Her being out there somewhere with somebody that doesn't know how special she is and how sick she is.
Now, Kylie says that her purse and her cell phone were also in the car at the same time that the dog was in there. The family didn't bother with any of that stuff. They simply took the dog. Now, police have the surveillance video of that dog napping, but 7-Eleven would not release it to us. Reporting live in North Park, I'm Desiree Carvajal, NBC 739.
Des, thanks.
News 8.
A desperate search is on for a 13-week-old purebred boxer puppy.
She was stolen out of a car, and it was all caught on tape. News 8's Heather Myers is live in North Park to show us the surveillance video in this Your Stories report. Heather.
Well, Dan and Nichelle, the foster mom, said she ran into this 7-Eleven right behind me here Friday night to buy cigarettes. She remembers a Hispanic woman with her 3 sons standing in line in front of her. She also remembers that 2 of the younger sons left the store early, and that's when her dog vanished.
When they left, I walked up the counter, bought my cigarettes, and as I walked outside, they were pulling off in their van, backing out. The younger of the kids up at the front seat waved bye to me. I looked in my car and both my doors were unlocked and the dog wasn't there.
Kylie Mayer and her boyfriend Daniel Piskarczyk say they are heartsick, wondering what happened to 13-week-old Gia. Kylie and Daniel took Gia in as a foster dog to nurse the purebred boxer back to health. Gia is 10 pounds underweight and sick. Kylie says the 7-Eleven surveillance video shows the 2 younger sons reaching in Kylie's car. They reportedly took Gia inside their van. Then the boy's mom came out from the store and the family left. Since the story aired, a resident in the area says she saw the puppy with the family and the van matching that description. By the time Kylie got to that area, the family took off. Danny says the purebred boxers can sell for up to $2,000, but to adopt Gia, it would have just been $200.
We may have found the perfect home for her, and I was so proud of how much we'd already put 4 pounds on her in a few days, and she's such a sweet dog.
Now, this is a description of the suspect's vehicle. It's a white Chevy or Dodge van that has license plate number 3SXS162. It also has blue pinstripes on that van. Of course, anyone with any information about the story, about the possible suspects in this case, is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 888-580-TIPS. Dan, Nichelle?
Yeah, Heather, such a sad story because no matter what and no matter how long you've had the dog, you certainly bond with it. So you can certainly feel their pain in wanting this dog back.
Yeah, they sure are upset. They say that they took this dog in just about a week ago. They've been nursing her back to health. She'd already gained 4 pounds in that last week. And like you heard Danny say, they had already found a family to adopt this dog, so they definitely want to get her back.
Well, Heather, hopefully this report helps and maybe somebody will recognize that dog and the owners also. All right. Heather Myers, Live for us in North Park. Thank you.
Is desperately searching for their pet that was snatched from inside their parked car. The 13-week-old purebred boxer was left alone with the window cracked when a thief stole her, and the entire crime was caught on tape. News 8's Heather Myers is live in North Park to show us the surveillance video in this Your Stories report.
Well, Barbara Lee, we were hoping to show you that surveillance tape, but the 7-Eleven store here would not turn over that videotape to show to you. Now, we do understand that the entire crime was caught on tape, and that 13-week-old sick puppy is still nowhere to be found.
I'm so mad. I just can't believe somebody would do something like that.
Just look at this face. This is Gia, a 13-week-old purebred boxer puppy. Gia was sitting in the backseat of Kylie Mayer's car Friday night outside this 7-Eleven store in North Park. Kylie says she went in to buy cigarettes and remembers a Hispanic woman with 3 sons in front of her in line.
As I walked outside, they were pulling off in their van, backing out. The younger of the kids up at the front seat waved bye to me. I looked in my car and both my doors were unlocked and the dog wasn't there.
I've had an upset stomach ever since.
Kylie and her boyfriend Daniel Piskarczyk contacted police. On the store surveillance tape, Kylie says that family who left the store right before her also took her dog.
The 2 younger kids go outside, reach in my car, unlock the doors and pull the dog out and put her in the van, and then the mom came out and they drove off.
I don't know if the mom knew exactly what was happening when it happened, but for her to allow it to occur, for her to take off with the dog in the car, she is the lowest of type of human being. She's basically teaching her children to be evil people.
Since the story has aired, Kylie says Sunday a nearby resident spotted Gia, that family, and their white van on Boundary Street, just a few blocks away.
The store manager gave her my number, so she called me and I rushed down. By the time I got there, they weren't there anymore.
Now, Kylie and Danny are worried. They say Gia is sick, underweight, and needs her medication. They want that family caught and Gia to come home safe.
I don't even care what happens beyond that. I just want her back and I want to get her to a good home.
And here is a description of the suspect's vehicle. It's a white Dodge or Chevrolet van with blue pinstripes. Now, the resident who saw the van on Sunday says the license plate that she saw was 3SXS162. Of course, anyone with any information about this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number on your screen, 888-580-TIPS.
All right, Heather, thank you very much.
Everyone, a puppy stolen from its owner's car is safely back home this afternoon.
The 13-week-old purebred boxer named Gia was snatched out of Kylie Mayer's car while it was parked in front of a North Park 7-Eleven Friday. The crime was caught by surveillance cameras. Mayer says the tape shows two young boys grab the dog, then take off with their mother in a van.
A witness reportedly helped track down those two suspects. Police have arrested one juvenile, and more arrests could be on the way.
And this is Gia. She was dog napped for 3 days, and now she is home safe. I'm Heather Myers. How News 8 brought Gia home safe back to her owners. That story coming up.
This is News 8 at 5.
Some good news tonight for a North Park woman who stopped off at a 7-Eleven and had her 13-week-old purebred boxer snatched right from her car. After a few long days, Gia has been found.
News 8's Heather Myers is live in North Park with what it took to get her back. Heather?
You know, Stan and Barbara Lee, it's always nice to have a happy ending to this story. And this right here by my side, this is our happy ending. This is 13-week-old Gia. You know, she's been through a lot over the past few days. She was essentially dog napped. Then last night she was found and there was an arrest in the case. But it's fair to say that this little puppy right here, she's been through a lot.
Oh, cutie.
If this dog could talk, there's no doubt she would say she's glad to be home.
I knew that we had to get her back. I just didn't know if and when it was actually going to happen.
Kylie Mayer and her boyfriend Daniel knew that time was not on their side. Gia, this 13-week-old boxer puppy, is sick and 10 pounds underweight. Friday night, surveillance cameras at this North Park 7-Eleven store caught a family stealing Gia from the backseat of Kylie's car. News 8 aired these photos of Gia in hopes that someone would recognize her, and it turns out that someone did, a resident here on Boundary Street, just a few blocks from the 7-Eleven. Monday night, Danny spotted the suspect's van on the same street, and Gia was inside.
I was crying and laughing, and I mean, at the same time, so mad too, but I just kind of focused on her the whole time, so I didn't focus on them.
Kylie says Gia was exhausted and dehydrated.
She was skinny again. She obviously hadn't drinking water in a while. She got here and just, wouldn't stay out of the water bowl. Didn't really seem like she ate a whole lot.
Surprisingly, that family that reportedly took Gia had something to say about it.
They were kind of yelling at us saying, I promise we fed her, I promise we took care of her. So obviously they felt bad for what they did.
Now that Gia is home, it's clear that she is right where she belongs.
We plan on keeping her here for a little while just so she can get comfortable and back into shape, and because I don't want to give her up right away. But she has people lined up waiting for her.
Now, from that family that allegedly took Gia, the oldest son was taken into custody last night, and there may be more arrests made in this case. The district attorney is now looking it over. Also, if you would like to adopt a dog like Gia is no longer up for adoption. They found her a pretty nice home. But a special needs dog, you can go to our website at cbs8.com, click on the hot button. We set up a link to the S. Ford Foundation, and they're the ones who care for sick dogs like little Gia here. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Heather.
Stolen puppy theft that we told you about last night. How this dog's tale ended with big smiles.
Ahead, the tale of a stolen puppy now has a happy ending.
When we come back, see how one local family finally got their doggy back.
A puppy with special needs that was stolen yesterday in North Park has now been safely returned to her owner. 13-week-old Gia was stolen from her owner's car outside a 7-Eleven last Friday night. The puppy is sick and needs medication and a special diet.
Well, the dog was found after the owner's boyfriend, acting on a hunch, drove near the neighborhood where Gia was stolen.
He drove down the street because he saw a trailer and a van that kind of matched the description. So he called me and asked me the license plate number, and I told him what it was, and so he called the police.
The dog was found inside the home where the van was parked, thinner but otherwise okay. The owner says she's overjoyed to have her puppy back.
And we thank you for joining us tonight.